Welcome to Dodgers Dawgs. As part of the Dodgers Daily Network, Casey Porter here, joined by Coach Barakoff. I know, Coach, you've been on the recruiting trail hot and heavy for Portland State, right?
No, University of Portland. Let's get it right, Case. Come on now.
Well, there's not a whole lot going right as of the moment. I mean, I'm damn disappointed, Coach. I'm not going to lie. We usually don't mince words around here about our beloved Dodgers. And, man, after Friday, it was like, okay, cool, here we go. And then Saturday, it's like you can't score unless it's a home run. And then today just was frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't disagree. I mean, it's 61-45 and 4 games up right now. It's, you wish you would be about 8 games up if we were playing well, but we're not. And I guess it's the dog days of summer, as they say. I guess that's the easiest way to put it right now. The Dodgers just are not playing well, and it's one of those things when you watch these games, you're wondering, like, man, are the Dodgers going to win today?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the feeling I have. But again, we're in first place, 61-45, 4 games up, 6.5 up on San Francisco. So, I mean, there is a positive lining right there. That's how I'm going to keep looking at this thing.
And Michael Conforto, he was a very big positive.
Yeah, I mean, I say this all the time when I get on here. I just don't understand. I think Dodger fans want every single player to be perfect and hit the ball every single time at bat. And Conforto hasn't. I mean, he's hitting 194 right now, but he had, 2 doubles, home run today. He's great. I laugh at reading the social media because now, they wanted Conforto gone forever. Now people want Tio gone. And why did they make this signing? And I look back on, at the beginning of the season, everybody was just so excited about this. But yet now Dodger fans want him gone, Conforto gone. They want to trade all the top prospects. And, Dodger fans really, they're almost more frustrating than watching the real Dodgers.
Yeah, they are. And today, Coach, it was just weird. Of course, the Bregman home run I thought was the turning point of the game, no doubt, for several different reasons. Dustin May, I thought, was getting ready to turn in the best start of his season. I was like, okay, well, Dustin May's been hearing all this crap about him going to the bullpen and he's not going to make the cut for the playoffs. He might get traded and all this. And you're thinking, well, Dustin May's hearing this and he's shoving today because he's wanting to show that he belongs in the rotation. Then, bam, Bregman flips the scoreboard. The next thing you know, he gives up 4 runs, and it's just another Dustin May outing, right?
Yeah, plus the inning before, he looked just dominant. That sweeper was looking good, everything. And then, yeah, you're right. And it's like, of all the guys to make the outing go bad, it's that doggone guy, Bregman. Like, it just killed me. It just broke my heart. And I'll tell you, Case, kind of off topic here, one of my best friends, Izzy, an L.A. guy, diehard Dodger fan, lives in Pennsylvania, took his kids to the Dodgers game. To the Dodgers Red Sox game the other night. And what is the luck that they have? Their son gets a foul ball, and it's from Alex Bregman. He catches an Alex Bregman foul ball. It broke my heart having to read that text and seeing the picture. And his kids are diehard Dodger fans too. But anyways, back to what we were at. Yes, May was looking good, and then just like that, it flipped, and it was a struggle, and it's tough to see.
I know that this is very close to you because you got to see him many times. But are the Dodgers using Dalton Rushing properly? He does not look like the Dalton Rushing we know that he can be.
Yeah, I mean, he's in a tough spot. I mean, Will Smith is the best, maybe one of the best players in baseball right now, right? I mean, he's probably up for MVP considerations. Mm-hmm. To piggyback on all the frustration of Dodger fans, if anything, why don't we use him in left field? If we want him up there, I get what he's doing up there. He's getting experience to sit behind Will Smith, learn how to do all that stuff. But you brought him up to see what he's got. He's playing once or twice a week, if that. Okay, so if we're upset about the left field, I would love to see people more talk about let's try Rushing in left field, if anything. So I don't know. It's a tough one for me. Rushing is a tough one. I understand what he's doing. I understand there's going to be a learning curve for him, but you would like to see him play a little bit.
You would. And today, the Dodgers, I mean, Coach, it was one of those deals to where early on, of course, you have a huge book on Buehler. The book is don't chase. I mean, make him throw the ball in the strike zone. Make him prove he actually can throw the ball in the strike zone. Something we saw all last year that he struggled to do. The way that Buehler beats you is if you chase all of his off-speed stuff. The Dodgers knew better to do that. Walker Buehler had walked 4 guys. The Dodgers were taking pitches. they weren't getting any timely hits, which is why they only got 3 runs off of him. But they were doing exactly what the game plan said you should do against Walker Buehler and playing pretty good offense to that point, just not getting the big hit. And then Walker Buehler gets out and the game plan just goes to hell. I mean, it's like they start chasing pitches, they don't score again. Yeah. And one thing that drives me nuts about this offense is that they'll score 2 or 3 runs early in a game and then just not score again for like the last 5 innings. I mean, what's up with that?
That's a tough one. Like, yeah. It's like they threw the book out the window and then just started swinging wildly, and it was frustrating to watch. I don't know. That's the frustration the Dodgers have been. They're so known for working the count and making the pitcher throw pitch after pitch, and then they go through 4 or 5 innings where it's just like they're swinging from the heels, and they go away from the game plan. And I think if anything, that's probably, Casey, where you as a baseball coach for years is probably where you're like just like banging your head, like, right?
Well, why do you do it against Buehler, but then you just stop doing it when somebody else is in it? That just made no sense to me.
Yeah, and that's where it doesn't make any sense. So it's frustrating. It really is frustrating. And I think right now, I think the Dodgers are in this. They're in a real lull. There's something missing right now, and it's like I always say, we don't know what's going on in the dugout right now. We don't know. I think as fans, we jump on social media and we want to, let's make this trade, and we think the Dodgers can just be magical and make any trade that they want. But it doesn't work that way. And I think the Dodgers are going to have to fight out of this slump. And I think that's what great teams do. Great teams go through slumps. Let's see if they can fight out of this thing.
Let's not mince words. This is a slump, Coach. This is not like this is not a patch. This is not an ebb and flow. This is not this is 162. This is squarely an alarming, I didn't expect this type of slump. Am I too dramatic?
No. I mean, we expected the Dodgers to win 130 games, right? That's what we thought going in.
Yeah, right.
Well, I think with the frustration of the expectations are so high for this team.
Yeah.
I think that's what the expectations, the bar was so high for this team. But you know what? Not even having all these injuries with the pitching staff, I think wears on you. I think it's you're getting everybody's best effort. Everybody's selling out the stadium to play against you, and you're having to do that every single day, night in and night out. And I think that wears on a team. Now, on top of that, they're going through a major slump, and guys are not hitting the ball. And I think it's just compounding the two. And I think the Dodgers are, it's not easy to be the world champions. I think in any sport you look at that, not many teams are able to repeat, and there's a reason for that. But I think the Dodgers still have the makeup, Casey, to win a world championship, but they're going to really have to fight out of this thing and dig their way out. And I think we're going to find out what they're made of. That's what I'm hoping.
Coach Holt hit on this the other day. Is there any solace that this is happening right in front of the trade deadline, so it kind of gets the attention of the front office? Like, hey, we can't just stand pat. Maybe we do need to go get a bat, or we have to go get some bullpen relief. So is it good that it's happening right in front of the trade deadline because it will create urgency within the front office? Or would they have had it anyways?
I think the injuries to the pitching staff is what's making the front office probably wonder what's going to happen here at the trade deadline, right? Yeah. I think they spent I'm going to be wrong, $100 million or whatever on this pitching staff. I don't think they accounted for that they were going to have all these injuries. I think that is where I think it's going to be. I don't really think inside the Dodgers clubhouse. I don't think they're worried about the hitting right now. I think they're more worried about the health of this rotation.
Oh, really?
And the bullpen.
The hitting's the one thing I'm like, okay, well, the pitching's getting ready to correct itself. Blake Snell's getting ready to come back. Trinan made his way back today. Yeah. Glasnow's look good. Like, the pitching part of it's the one thing that I think actually organically will turn. Like, just write it out. It's going to be okay. The offense, I'm not convinced that Mookie and Freddie are going to be the Mookie and Freddie that we need. I'm not convinced that Andy Pawheads won't go through a patch that he should go through as a freshman. I mean, my God, he's been so good. You expect him to tail off some. I'm not totally sure that this Teo that we're getting right now isn't actually Teo, that we got a good special version of Teo last year because of the excitement. The offense is what I'm just kind of going, you know what? I forever thought it would turn organically. I'm having doubts now. That's the side I'm having doubts on.
And that's why you have me on the show, because I am not. I think, and maybe I'm one of the few out there, but I see we've got Freddie and Mookie, two very, very good baseball players that are not. They're not playing great at the moment, but that's going to turn, and I just have to believe it's going to turn. You say organically, I think it's going to still happen organically. I think right now it's just in a major, major slump, and I have no other way to put it other than the way I feel as a coach. I feel it's going to change. They're too good of players for it not to, and you know what? This could just be one of those years where they're not playing well. They're not going to hit the baseball this year. And sometimes that happens in professional sports. I think people forget a lot of the time, not you. This is not directed at you, that these guys are human beings that go through stuff. And like Mookie just had, what is it, his stepfather? Or is that what it was? His stepfather passes away?
Yeah.
And yet all we're wanting to do, and now again, this is not directed at anybody on this show, but we're wanting just to complain about why, well, he should be in right field and he's not hitting the ball this year. But I'm going to say, you said it, organically, it's still going to happen, and the Dodgers are going to hit, and we're going to be okay as this thing gets going on. I'll just be the positive guy.
I'm going to split the difference with you, and I'm going to totally agree with Dave Brook. If you have not read some of Dave Brook's comments in the chat, wow. Another example of just exactly how elite the chat here is on Dodgers Dawgs as part of the Dodgers Daily Network. Dave Brook, well done. Totally agree with Dave Brook. I'm going to split the difference. The bats that I saw from Freddie Freeman today, that looked like Freddie Freeman. I know the last at bat he got fooled and this and that happens. But that first at bat, that was the first time I went, okay. Well, he looked connected. He was using his lower half. Looked like he wasn't in pain. I mean, it didn't look like he was trying to hide. That looked like the Freddie Freeman that I'm used to seeing swing a bat. So I'm actually excited about where Freddie Freeman's at right now. So I'm going to split the difference and say I think Freddie is coming. Mookie, I still think, is lost, though. So I'm kind of 50-50 on you.
Mookie is lost, but I just think it's just one of those, it just happens. That's just the only way I could put this thing. I don't want to get into it if he was in right field or shortstop, because what then happens if he's in right field having this slump? There's no other excuses other than what I'm just saying. He's not having a great year. Yeah. That's the bottom line for Coach Barakoff. He's just not having a great year, and he's a great player, and great players seem to figure it out. I would trust Mookie Betts going into a playoff series anytime, any place, but that's just me. I'm always been a super positive guy about this. I think Mookie's going to get this thing turned around. So I'm just going to put that out there. Last time I did, Conforto got some hits. Mookie's going to turn this thing around. Yeah, what do we got? Cincinnati and Tampa coming up.
Yeah.
Two really warm weather clients. Maybe this is going to get Mookie's body going. Maybe he's going to feel a lot more loose in the humidity in Cincinnati. So there we go. That's what I'm saying. I'm throwing that out there, speaking it into existence.
I got to get rid of all my venom, Coach. That's why I love talking to you, because you let my venom bounce off and you throw it right back at me with some positivity, and it always makes me feel a hell of a lot better, right? So I got to get all my venom out. The damn base running, man, what are we doing? I mean, okay, it's one thing to say we're in a slump, this and that, but the base running thing, that's inexcusable, man. I mean, where does that come from?
Maybe let's just say desperation.
Yeah, that's
trying
a good
to get
point.
something going.
Point. Yeah,
trying to get something going on the
good
base
point.
paths. Maybe taking too many risks when they know guys aren't hitting the ball. So you take a risk. That's the only thing that when I was watching the game, I'm like, man, they're really throwing some risks out there. Even the Ruiz stolen base late in the game, what was it, the ninth inning? That was risky to me. Yeah. As a baseball thing, it had to happen to advance the runner. So if you get something in the gap or whatever, it's going to score, tie it. But yeah, it's been risky. Some of the Ebel, I think we've got the best third baseman in baseball, but he's been sending guys, and it hasn't even been close. Yeah. I don't know if it's misreading off of a scouting report, desperation to get runs going, to get things moving. But yeah, the base running's been a little question, hasn't it? Yeah,
it has. That's the kind of stuff that I can't just say, hey, it's going to turn. I can't accept. That was like when Andy Paez was struggling. I defended his offense. I defended his defense in terms of he hasn't played a lot of center field. That ball right at him, you can't blame that for him. He just hasn't done it enough. But what I would not defend with Andy Paez was his stupid base running mistakes, because mental mistakes as a coach, as a fan, you should demand more. So this is going to be my last negative comment. We're going to get into some of the positives. And we have a wonderful Down the Farm show. Blake Snell, we're going to get into that. We've got some debuts of Chin Chin Ko down there at Rancho, and Chase Harlan, who had a really nice debut. So we got a lot of great stuff down on the farm. But my last, kind of not negative thing, but kind of pointed topic here is it good that the Dodgers are doing this now and not peaking in July? I mean, is there anything to that, or is that justification just trying to make yourself feel better about the Dodgers not playing good?
The Dodgers are the world champions. And if you look back through the history of sports, world champions always struggle the next year. It's very rare.
Yes.
I'm sure you could easily you could go through and find and nitpick this comment, but championship teams struggle. There's a reason for that. They struggle the next year. They've won something that they've wanted for so long. The next year, everybody's coming after to get them. I'm okay with that. Gosh, if this is maybe coach talk, I'm okay with the struggle. The struggle is going to help them when it comes down to the playoff time. I'm just going to that's just my only thought. The struggle is going to help them. I'd rather they struggle now than this whole struggle thing happens right going into the playoffs. Now, Case, maybe it's going to be a struggle all the way through. Maybe it's not going to be as clean as we think it's going to be. We're still 4 games up. 6.5 up on San Francisco. There's going to be some big series coming up here at the end of the month, and we're getting down to the wire. I totally understand that. I guess just the true fan in me, because I'm Mr. Positive all the time about Dodger baseball. I think we're going to work ourselves out of that, and this is going to help us for the long run. That's what my take is. And the people in the chat room want to bash me for it. That's okay.
Oh, no.
That's okay.
They're on the same page as you, Coach. They're on the same page as you.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to be okay. I really am. Yeah.
A lot of times the worst thing that can happen is you just never have any. It's like you have these minor leaguers and fans want to like lose their minds, like when Dalton Rushing went 0 for 36, and they're like, "What the hell is going?" They're like, no, this is good, because what you don't want, like Jack Dreyer is the only minor leaguer I've ever seen that never had any failure at all. I mean, he just dominated from the time he got back from his Tommy John surgery. But all of the rest of them, they need that time to fail, and then to get over the failure, figure out what's causing the failure, gain the confidence to know that they can get to the other side of it. And that happens with every single prospect, and that even the best ones. So even with the best teams, you have your ups and downs, no doubt about it. So hopefully this lengthened period of time will make these guys understand. It's kind of like Jerry Hairston said the other night. I loved it. Whenever Milwaukee came in and beat the Dodgers, he said, hey, you know what? This could be a good thing, because this shows the guys that if they don't come in and play the way they're capable of, the Brewers are going to come in and kick your ass in the playoffs. And so hopefully that gets their attention.
Yeah, it's that old two-edged sword where you want all these prospects to play well, but when they don't,
yeah,
we want some of the people want to cast them away and they're not good enough, and let's trade them. And it's, again, I go back to this point of, I love the trade deadline because I love listening to Dodger people talk about, we're going to get so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. And I always go back to this. It's like, you think people just want to keep giving us all these star players? Unless, it's like, I think people think it's just easy. Like, hey, we need so-and-so. We're going to go get him. Now we're going to win a World Series. I don't think it works like that. And Case, you and I have talked on text back and forth about what to do with our prospects.
Yeah. We're on different pages.
Yeah, and it's tough because, I mean, you don't want to do what the Padres did and trade away the whole system.
Yeah.
But the Dodgers have to be smart about this. And I'm always wrong on this, but I don't see the Dodgers making a big move at this trade deadline.
You don't see him going to get a closer?
Well, you've got you've got Blake coming back, right? Yeah. I think Kirby is still okay. I have this hope that Tanner Scott's going to be okay. I could be wrong. If any new reports came out, I missed it. But who's going to want to give us a closer unless we give away top half of the farm? I don't think people are going to just do that, right? Am I wrong on saying that? Or are we as Dodger fans willing to see a DePaula, a Hope, a Rushing go? Are we willing to do that for a closer for a 1-year rental?
One of. Well, I think a couple of them, like Johan Duran, you'd have him for another 2 more years. So that would be kind of cool. And then Austin's point on that, I think you would like this too, Coach, is don't necessarily give up your farm for like one reliever, because if that one reliever doesn't perform, it's a complete bust. But instead, if you spread the resources out and go get, say, 3, 2 relievers and a bat, then if one, you can kind of like last year when they got Flaherty, Kopech, and Edman, okay? If just one or two of those guys came through, it's a perfect trade deadline. We got lucky that all three of them came through. So Austin would rather the Dodgers, and it makes sense. It makes total sense. We had a really spirited debate. It was so fun the other night. He wants to, instead of like go get the Johan Duran and just throw all your ducks in that one row, he would rather spread it out and maybe go get the next tier who actually statistically isn't much worse and get more quantity versus getting the one quality. Would you be okay with that?
That's why I like listening to Austin. And yes, that's a very smart move. I'll just counter that and say, what happens, Dodger fans, if we do something like that and we don't hit on those? Fox on the other game, 2 games ago, or the last nationally televised game, showed all the mistakes, the misses the Dodgers have had in this trade deadline. And we've given up some really good studs for some duds.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see what the social media world of the Dodgers are going to do if this thing didn't hit on the trade deadline. But back to what Austin was talking about, that makes complete sense. And I don't think we even have a shot at Durant. I don't think he's going to move from the Twins.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to move at all.
So
could be wrong.
If the Dodgers have the choice to give up, the Twins say, I don't care which one you pick them. I want one of Dalton Rushing, Josue De Paula, or Zaire Hope, and then they're going to want 2 or 3 other prospects. Probably down the line like a Yoendry Vargas, they're going to want somebody else like that. So, but let's say stay at the top, because the one at the top is the one that Coach Barakov's going to go, because I know how you love your top 30 prospects, right? It's going to kill you there. So if the Brewers did say, you can have Duran, but we want one of those 3, what does Coach Barakov say?
No.
No? Coach Barakov can't do it.
This is going to kill me to say it. I mean, and I think I'm going to surprise a lot of people. I would be okay with Dalton Rushing going.
Because he doesn't have any path to playing time. That's
where my thought process is. And I think, and I am not educated enough to, off the top of my head, but I think the Dodgers are okay with their catching prospects in the lower levels. Rushing would be the guy. I just do not want to see Hope and De Paula go to anybody. I just have this fear that they're going to turn out to be something really, really special. And the catching position to me is such a volatile position. And right now we have Will Smith signed for a while. And I cannot figure out where, Casey, you would put Will Smith if you want to keep Rushing. Freddie Freeman's got 1 or 2 years. I don't see what Will Smith there's no room for Dalton Rushing on this team right now.
Yeah.
And that breaks my heart to say, because I'm as big as a fan as any of the Dodger Daily people out there.
Yeah. I'll say this. The Dodgers, they have some good catchers. You know, I mean, at Tulsa they have Janier Fernandez. They now have Nelson Quiros, and Janier Fernandez can catch. With Great Lakes, you have Carlos Rojas, Frank Rodriguez. So it's you don't have. I hope they don't take this wrong, but they're not the same type of high caliber in terms of getting the prospect love that Dalton Rushing or Diego Cartaya or Will Smith got. But like Griffin Lockwood Powell, Janier Fernandez, Nelson Quiros, Carlos Rojas, Frank Rodriguez, those are your catchers going all the way down to high A. So I think the problem if you do trade Dalton Rushing, then you're looking at Hunter Fiducia. To me, this is the perfect scenario. Why is Hunter Fiducia still in AAA Oklahoma City? He hit a home run last night. He's hitting almost 300. He is a perfect major league backup catcher. So, and I didn't say this last year, but now that we're in the same spot, trade Dalton Rushing for whatever you need to get to win a World Series this year. Bring Hunter Fiducia, who deserves to be on a major league roster 365 days a year. Bring him up, make him the backup catcher. Get what you can out of Dalton Rushing. Let him go have his major league career. And to me, that's the perfect case scenario. But I'll tell you this, I really think the Dodgers are afraid of letting loose of Dalton Rushing and him going and being an all-star like Yordan Alvarez, and Dodgers fans just crucifying him for that. I think that's where the hang-up's going to come.
And that's the tough thing about being a Dodger, because people are going to clamor for that, want that.
Yeah.
expect that. And then the second it goes against the Dodgers or doesn't go right, everybody's going to rip on it. And it's like, that's what my biggest frustration is. I think I don't even, it's just too hard to get into. I totally, Case, you said it best about what would happen. Dalton Rushing is just the guy I wish we would not even be talking about in this situation, because I love him. You have followed him probably longer than I have, but I've followed him for a while, and my daughter and I have. But he's the one that makes perfect sense for me. It's the catching position. My only fear is, something happens. I don't even want to say this, but something happens to Will Smith. I'd much rather have a Dalton Rushing than a Fiducia, but that's just me. That's just my take on it.
Sure.
But yeah, Dalton Rushing is the one that makes sense for me. It really does.
Yeah. Hey, did we have a $1.99 super chat from Dave Brook? Been watching Casey since COVID. Great job. Thank you so much, Dave. We have just an awesome crowd, Coach Barakoff. You always bring them out. I really thought there were two turning points today, and the two turning points just kind of typified how things have been going as of late. You had the home run by Bregman where you're like, why did, I'm sitting here as a baseball, not just a Dodgers fan, I had my baseball cap on. I'm like, okay, well, May's shoving. This is a game the Dodgers are going to win. Everything's going right. You have a good feeling to it. And then it's like, why did that happen? Why did that little son of a bitch hit a home run, right? And so I thought that was the first turning point. And then you get the first two on with walks in the eighth inning against Aroldis Chapman. He doesn't even finish the inning. And you're only down one. And I'm thinking, okay, well, we're getting ready to have our 35th comeback win of the year. Yeah. That's really what I thought. And then we don't even score. And then you kind of leave that going, well, that's exactly how this whole thing's gone last month.
There's not much else to say to that. That is exactly what happened. It was the other one was when Rojas gets the double, right?
Yeah.
I was like, there's nobody out. Rojas gets a double. We've got them now the top of the order coming up, and we don't get anything out of that. And I was like, oh my gosh, baseball is just a brutal sport. Yeah. Where you feel so good and you get Rojas to get a double and we don't get anything out of it. And that's just the way it's been going lately. And I don't know what gets the Dodgers out of this slump, but you've got to drive home a guy on second with nobody out, right? With the top of your order coming up. That's just, it's a given that's got to happen. And let's get back to some baseball. I wish we could just bunt him over and sack fly and tie it up.
If you're not hitting, do something else, right? It's kind of like when you're not shooting the ball well, then let's throw the ball into the posters. Let's try to draw a foul. Let's just not sit here and shoot jump shots all day long. So if you're not hitting, then try to figure out a way to score a guy from second base with no outs without having to get a hit. So it's easy to say the Dodgers were 1 for 10 and with runners in scoring position because they were. That's a fact. That's terrible. I get it, okay? So that's been going on for a while now. So make up for that. Do something else. Expect to be 1 for 10, as negative as that sounds. Expect to be 1 for 10 and game plan to be 1 for 10. So whenever you do have a chance to score, don't make it to where you have to get a hit because you're not getting hits. I'm losing my mind here, Coach.
It's, again, I always bring up this. I play Stratomatic baseball, and if I had a guy on second late innings, and Mookie Betts is coming up, I'm butting him over with the hope of you've got then Shohei can at least get it into the outfield somewhere and get the run and score and tie this thing up. That's how I'm looking at this thing. Yeah. I wish, and you don't see where the infield was playing, but they weren't playing Mookie to bunt. Like that would have been a perfect opportunity just to play old school baseball to tie it up. But we're in 2025. That's not the way baseball is played. But it was frustrating, and I've been frustrated by that here the last month with the Dodgers and the lack of is it just strategic baseball? Is that how you would say it?
Situational baseball.
Situational baseball. Frustrating. It's in, I'm a basketball coach, and when a guy's in a slump, you say, get a layup, get to the free throw line.
Right.
Like that's all we needed was just get a layup, get to the free throw line, and we didn't do that. And that's frustrating. And I think that's what this slump has been. It's been a frustrating slump. Yeah.
So like for basketball fans, you run your motion offense and you tell them, hey, get the ball into the post. Let's take the ball to the rack. Let's get fouled. And let's say they're not able to do that. So what you do as a coach at that point is you start running set plays to make sure the guys are getting the ball to the spots of the floor that you dictate you want them to get it to. So that's what I'm saying about. But I'm saying run your motion offense. Do your normal thing. Try to get hits. Try to hit home runs. But then when that's not working, then run a set play. Sometimes as a coach, you have to run a set play and force your players to put the ball where you want them to put the ball.
Yeah, I would have loved to see what the probability was of a Mookie Betts bunt there. I bet you it was astronomically low, right? And that would have been the perfect time. But again, I'm not Dave Roberts. I'm not a Hall of Fame manager like he is. And I don't have to answer to the 3.5 million Dave Roberts on social media. So, it's been frustrating. You're right. Let's change it up. But, okay, I'm just going to keep pushing out there. Positivity. We're going to Cincinnati and Tampa. It's going to be warm weather. The ball's going to be flying. Dodgers are going to be playing well.
Absolutely. Okay, so one of the biggest positives out of this whole thing is the bullpen that went 11 scoreless innings this series. Anthony Banda looked good. He's looked good in his last 12 outings. He's given up just 3 earned runs. That spans 11.1 innings, so Banda has been good. Alex Vesia has an ERA of just 2.53. His whip is 0.91. He has 59 Ks in 42.2 innings. Alex Vesia has been elite. So you saw Jack Dreyer, his ERA is under 3. Robo went scoreless today in 2 innings. And if you can get Tanner Scott back to where he's capable of being, that is the best crop of left-handed relievers in baseball, and it's not close. Then if you add Blake Snell to your starting rotation and Clayton Kershaw pitches well, that's not just the best set of relievers, that's the best set of left-handers, period, in the game of baseball.
Pretty outstanding, isn't it?
It can be. That's the positive. That's what you have to look forward to.
Yeah, and that's it, especially after the last series at home and all the walks that the bullpen gave up, and then to flip it around and to pitch really well. I think the Dodgers bullpen's been so overworked that it's just so easy to criticize some of the things, and the numbers you just gave were incredible, and I'm excited about that. And I think if you can get this rotation healthy and figured out, this bullpen could settle down and we can use them the way they were intended to be used. And I'm excited about those possibilities. Yes.
And then if you do go add a high-end reliever, I mean, there's a chance for this bullpen. Blake Trinan coming back, chance for this bullpen. Okay, so here's where this thing will turn, in my opinion. This is why it's not going to turn on the offensive side. The pitching is going to have to give the offense time to figure it out. Glasnow, Kershaw, Yamamoto, Blake Snell, Shohei Ohtani, Blake Trinan, all the lefties I just mentioned, okay? That's an elite set of pitching. That is just, it's one of those kegs of dynamite ready to go off. So really all the Dodgers need to do is they need to get their pitching in order and get Blake Snell back, get Blake Trinan back, get all these guys pitching the way that they're capable of, get them on the mound, not injured, but get them back on the mound, pitching the way that they're capable of. And this pitching staff should be dominant enough to allow the offense time to figure out what the hell is going on. That's kind of where I'm at. That's how you fix it.
I would say I would nothing else different to say than other than that also. I think, again, I look at it as if this rotation and bullpen was healthy, I think you can get through the playoffs and where we need to be as a Dodger fan base and a Dodger organization if what you just said happens. And I think the hitting will come around. I just think this team is built for a playoff run. And I think sometimes we just wanted to dominate regular season so much, but I think this team is built for a playoff run. And I think if we can get these guys all healthy going into that playoff run, it's going to be a really fun postseason. But there's a long way to go for that. But you were right. You said it best. Hopefully this pitching staff could allow our hitting to get back, and that's what I'm hoping for.
Okay, here's a tough one, Coach. And I'll answer this if you want to throw it back at me when you're done. And I would like to get the chat's thoughts on this. What are your thoughts on Clayton Kershaw?
I like what he's doing. I think he is what he is. He's a end of the rotation starter. I think you say Clayton Kershaw and we think the Hall of Fame numbers and all of that stuff. He's your 4th or 5th starter. Like, I think this is what I'm expecting from him. If he can give us good 5-6 innings, keep us within. right?
I'm evaluating him as an ace, aren't I? That's a great point.
I think if we could get him, keep us within a run, 2 runs up, 2 runs down with Clayton Kershaw, get us into the 5th, 6th inning. That's what I think. That's what I think Kershaw is. He is Clayton Kershaw, not the Hall of Famer Clayton Kershaw at the end of his career, battling and being super educated in his scouting reports to doing what he's doing. I am perfectly fine with everything Clayton Kershaw has given us right now. I think that is what that is what I expected. He throws, the highest he goes is 91, and he's given us good innings. I'm excited about what he's doing for us. I don't expect anything else. And I think when you do get this masterful performance, I think it's just icing on the cake for Kershaw right now. He has been an anchor for that staff, and that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to turn the heat up. So what I'm hearing you say about Kershaw is this guy is fine for the regular season. He eats innings. He's a 5th starter. We need him to run out there every 5th day. Keep the team in the game where the offense can turn over the ball, where the offense has a chance to win the game late, let the bullpen do their thing. But what I'm not hearing there is a guy that you're describing that needs to be a playoff starter. Right or wrong there if it started tomorrow?
In a 7-game series, I would be okay with Clayton Kershaw starting in a 7-game, but not in a 5-game series.
Okay.
Not if you have Yamamoto, Glasnow, Snell,
Ohtani. Those guys will double up though, surely in a 7-game series, right?
Yeah, but I don't. I think Kershaw's more of a 7-game series guy, anyways. I don't think he's in a 5-game or a 1-day.
Okay,
1 game.
That's fair.
That's where I'm at.
That's very fair.
I think he needs to be a consideration. But let's figure out what he's like when we get down to that point in the season. Maybe his arm isn't even going to be ready. It might be fatigued. I don't know. But in a 7-game series, I would use him in a 7-game series.
I wouldn't have a problem with that, but I'd give him about 3 innings. I might give him 1 time through the lineup just so he can work his magic. I don't think I'd let him see anybody twice. Am I being too much there? I mean, if you want to say, hey, he's kind of a long reliever, if you will, versus maybe just a starter, just a 1 time through the inning type of guy, I'm good with that. I'm not good with anything more than that.
I would not disagree.
Yeah.
I think if you expect him to go 6 in a playoff series, that's real risky. Mm-hmm. And that brings me back to that one Arizona game that I will never forget in my lifetime, what happened to Kershaw. And that's the last thing we would want to have happen again. Mm-hmm. Maybe 3 innings. Maybe if he's really looking good in that curveball and the splitter and all that stuff.
May was looking good today, though, till he wasn't.
yeah, but you're right. I mean, I'm not expecting more than 3, 3.2, maybe 4, 4.1, right?
Yeah.
But again, Dodger fans are going to expect Kershaw, the Hall of Fame Kershaw, and why didn't he give us 7? And why? Or I think what you said, Case, 3 is probably perfect. The heat wasn't turned up for me because I'm on the same page for you with that.
Yeah, awesome. And here's another guy that really could make a huge difference, and I love him. I think he's going to be a wonderful pitcher. But I'll tell you this, and we're like half friends with these prospects because we talk to them. We get to know them personally, that kind of deal. So it's a little bit tough for us. So I say that to say, the Dodgers come before anybody, any one person. Does that make sense? The well-being of the Dodgers comes before every personal feeling for every player. So I say that to say Emmett Sheehan, he's one of my favorites, okay? I'm not exactly sure where I come down on him for this year. Now, don't get me wrong. I think he's a great pitcher. He's going to be a great pitcher in the future if he stays healthy. But for this year, I'm not quite sure where he fits in.
I'm going to wait and see.
Yes, that's okay. Good point. Yes,
I'm going to wait and see on him. Like if this continues where he stays on this trajectory, I'm at a wait and see because I think September and August, there's a lot of things change in September and August for me.
Great point.
Let's wait and see on him. I don't want to make any judgment calls on him until we get later in the season. And it's the same thing how I feel about Kershaw. I mean, he's throwing a lot that he hasn't thrown here in a while. Like, I'd like to see what he looks like at the end of the season. What does Sheehan look like at the end of the season? Dustin May has already thrown for more innings than he's thrown for ever, right? This is the most he's thrown. I thought that's what they said today. These are all wait and sees for me. can we get our guys back healthy? Can we get the rotation back? And man, I love Kershaw as a fifth guy. Sheehan as a sixth. If you want to go 6-man rotation, right? Those guys fit well with that.
Max Muncy, what are you expecting out of him? I mean, do you think the Dodgers are going to have time? I mean, they're going to try. It doesn't look like they're going to. Here's Austin said this, and he was so right on this. I'm not sure I'm sold on Max Muncy coming back and having time to. We've seen Max Muncy. It can take him a long time to get his swing back. We saw it at the beginning of this year. That worries me to no end. But I think the biggest problem is there's not really any good candidates to go get for a third baseman in trade scenarios. I think that's why they're banking on Max Muncy more than actually being confident that the injury and then the ramp up after the injury will be successful.
All right, I'm gonna shock everybody because this is how I am. I'm perfectly pumped to have Max Muncy back.
Oh, right.
I'm excited for him to come back, and if it's going to take him some time, take all the time you want until that first playoff series, and then Max is going to come back and hit. I think he's ahead of schedule on his rehab. I am shocked that nothing was seriously done to that knee. You and I have both been around sports a long time. I was convinced he was out for the year.
Yeah, me too.
I'm just going to say, let's give Max all the time we want for that guy. And let's let Mad Max come back and be ready for a playoff run. And I've got full hope that Max is going to kill it in the playoffs. I got nothing else but to be positive on this situation. It's just how I roll, and I'm never going to change.
Let me put on my tinfoil hat for a minute.
Uh-oh.
So you said earlier, you put it perfectly. There's just something missing right now.
Yeah.
And that something missing is an edge. Like, hey, throw that ball south. I'm getting ready to kick your ass. And if I don't kick your ass on this pitch, you're going to have to throw it south again. I'm going to kick your ass on the next pitch, and I'm going to keep doing it until I finally kick your – I mean, that edge right there. Shohei Ohtani, he's an unbelievable player. He's a really nice guy, right? I mean, he just is a really nice guy. He doesn't have that Max Muncy throw it in the ocean type just kind of asshole to him, good asshole, if you will, to him. Or especially Kike Hernandez. Mookie Betts is struggling too much to have that edge right now. So it's Freddie Freeman. Andy Pages has that edge, but this isn't his team. He's just a rookie. Yeah. He's not in that position to be the emotional leader of this team. Miguel Rojas isn't playing enough to really have that. And he's not a starter, so it's not going to be like the overall influence. So here's my tinfoil hat. I do like I always do. I made a short story long there. My tinfoil hat is that they're missing the kick-ass from Max Muncy and Kike Hernandez. They're missing those two guys from an emotional perspective, from a dog perspective.
I'm going to say something that I cannot believe I'm going to say because I don't like this team, but the Padres have an edge to them.
They do.
You say whatever you want about they're dirty, they're this, they're that, they're the Dodgers' little brother, blah, 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 blah. They have an edge to them.
They do.
When you're going to play the Padres, they're going to fight. They're going to throw at you. You've got Manny, who's dirty. I love everything about. I like that type of edge. The Dodgers don't have that edge. The Dodgers are. It's almost like when we going back to the Dodgers Reds back in the day in the 70s. The Reds had an edge to them. The Dodgers did not. Like my grandmother would always say, "Well, Bill Russell never wanted to get dirty. Well, Pete Rose always was dirty." To the Pirates with Parker and Stargell. Those guys had an edge to them. The Dodgers don't have an edge. They're just really nice, great franchise guys.
Like Edmund, super nice guy.
And it's worked.
Yes.
I don't think you're going to get a Dodger throwing at a guys. And we don't have the Drysdale where you come up to bat and you fear that Drysdale's going to throw at your ear hole. You don't have that. And I don't know if I should expect the Dodgers to have that. They are what they are. Yeah, we're missing Kike and we're missing Muncy. There's that little bit of fight, but I just want to see. I guess I would see more fight from them. Like sometimes I feel like if we lose the first game of this series, we're going to win the next two. Like it's that type of attitude. I want that to change. I want it to change where we're going to win every series. We're going to sweep this series. We're going to go in and take this. That's what I want to see more of. So I don't know. I guess my answer was a long-winded answer also.
I've been schizophrenic all year because I have not, from day one, Coach, it's felt like this team has just been fighting uphill It just seems like that.
Yeah.
But yet they've led the NL West from start to finish, and NL West is supposedly one of the best divisions in baseball. So I'm so conflicted because on this side of my brain, I'm like, there's so much more to this team. I mean, this team is just not functioning the way it should. The floor is lower than it should be. Definitely, I didn't think the floor would ever be this low. Then on this side, I look over and I go, well, hell, they're up 4 games over the Padres and the Giants and the NL West, which is supposed to be one of the best divisions in all of baseball. So help me kind of figure out all these conflicts in my head there.
You are conflicting because every time I look at the standings, there are 1, 2, 3 teams with better records than the Dodgers. And yet we feel like as fans that everything is falling apart, but we're up 4, 6.5 on San Francisco, 10 on Arizona, and then the poor Rockies. We're up 33 on the Rockies, but we're in first place. But what we see right now is we just look at the last 10. The last 10 haven't been good. I thought maybe they got it figured out against the Twins. Now we go lose 2 out of 3 to Boston. But again, 61-45. We're up 4 on the Padres, 6.5 on the Giants, 10 on the D-bags. Mm-hmm. So, and there's 3 teams with better records than us. So as a fan, where do we expect them to be? Should have been 70 wins by now. We haven't had a healthy pitching staff. We're 61-45 with basically Mookie not playing very well. Freddie hitting 290. Max Muncy's been out with an injury. Right? Rookie and center fielder in Pages hitting 294. Everybody wanted gone, 19 home runs. T.O.'s having an average year if you really want to break it down. But yet the Dodgers are 61-45 with 2 to 3 teams better records in baseball right now. It may be the toughest sport to play in all the sports. Yep. So I am okay right now. I look at it as a coach, man, we're going through a slump. My only fear is this slump never gets out of it. Yeah. That's the fear. Because a 4-game and a 6.5 game lead can switch really quickly when you start playing your own division teams here. Yeah. And that's my only fear at the moment.
You ever gone to the halftime down or maybe with a 4-point lead against a team that you're better than, or maybe you're down 4, and your exact statement is, guys, listen, we played like crap this first half, and we're still only down 4 points, which tells me if we just play like we're supposed to, we don't even have to play good. Just play average basketball the second half. We're going to kick this team's ass by 20. That's what this first half tells me. Have you ever had that conversation, and is that the feeling you get with this Dodgers team?
That's exactly the feeling that I get. I've also had teams where I've won a national championship, and all year long I'm like, let's just get to the regional tournament. Let's get to the national tournament, and we're going to turn it on. And you know what? We did. I've also had to go the other way, where, if we could just get there, and then we got upset. But there's something you're right. I feel there's something missing within the Dodgers. I feel they're just in a big slump right now. And I don't want to say they're just let's just get to the playoffs and we're going to flip the switch. That's not the way to look at it. But sometimes I feel that watching them, if we could just get to the last couple of weeks of the season, we've got a couple game lead. We just got to get into the playoffs. We're going to be fine. I don't like that attitude, but sometimes I just is that what they're really doing? But you're right. The team's really good. I guess we expect a lot better. I don't know. This is a tough time to be a Dodger fan. Yeah. We're not playing well. Yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Okay, last topic of the night that I'm going to give you final thoughts before we get to our Down the Farm. Again, Down the Farm, we have the Snell rehab. We have Jose Rodriguez. We got Hunter Fiducia. Nice. We've got Patrick Copen. We've got the debuts of Chase Harlan and Chin Shin Ko. I mean, this is one of the most packed Down the Farm segments we have had all year long. You do not want to miss this one. I probably enjoyed this one more than any of the other ones putting it together. So please stick around for that when we hit that here in just a second. So your thoughts on the possibility of Dustin May? Would you trade Dustin May if the package was right? Would you be okay with that? B, if you don't, do you want to see him in the pen? And then your thoughts on Bobby Miller, a 3-headed question. Moving to the pen, by the way. Bobby Miller moving to the bullpen.
I'm a fan of everything you talked about, of those guys. I love those guys. I think it's okay. I'm going to be okay with May moving on. He's in the end of the contract, correct?
Yes.
I'm okay with him moving on. And Bobby Miller to the pen. I'm not sold on Bobby Miller, and I always have been. And I keep looking at his numbers down in AAA, and they're just not getting any better. So I don't know what moving to the pen is going to change, other than you use him for free.
Just something different.
That's the only thing I can think of. But to trade Bobby Miller and Dustin May, I would be okay with that. May, I'm perfectly okay with that. I love that guy. I think there's something special about him. But I am okay if we want to use him in a trade, because I don't know how much is he going to expect after this contract year. He's been injury prone. I'm just giving the basics of the fact, other than taking my fandom away from liking this guy so much. I think he would be a good trade bait. I think people would be more inclined to want to get him because of his youth and that's the progress that he's made this year. So yes, I would say I would be okay. I'm here nor there on Bobby Miller right now. I don't know what to think anymore on him, but I'm okay with May being traded.
Yeah, you and I are exactly on the same page. So, hey, Coach, we're getting ready to get down the farm. I know you're extremely busy. I really appreciate it. I always look forward to getting to talk to you on Sunday evenings. It's one of the highlights of my week. You always bring the positivity. I'm the second most positive fan, I think, in the history of the Dodgers organization, you being number one. So every time I get pissy or whatever it may be, Captain Red Ass is how Coach Holt and I like to describe that. Every time I take a drink of that, I always like to talk to Coach Barrakoff, because I always end up, you can tell I'm already in a better mood, Coach. So finish this thing off, man. You got to give, okay, you're down 3 points with 2.5 minutes to go. You got to give your best speech to get your kids' ass in gear to win the game in the last 3 minutes. I need to hear it.
It's simple. Hey, Dodger fans, we're the world champions for a reason. The world champions will figure out a way. The world champions, remember, say that we are the world champions, and until somebody takes that away, we are the world champions. We got the Reds and Tampa Bay. Let's go get some wins there. I think we go 4-6. I don't know what the breakdown, how many games, but we're going to either sweep a series, and I think it's going to be the Reds. And I'm excited to see Luxie play.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited to go to this minor league ballpark, and I'm looking forward to these guys hitting the ball. So go Dodgers. Let's go.
Coach, thanks.
Later, brother.
Let's not waste some more time. Let's take a trip down the farm. Welcome to Dodgers Down on the Farm. So glad you decided to stick around and listen all about the action down on the farm. The first thing I wanted to get into on today's Down the Farm show is the fact that the Dodgers have added so much speed into their system. Of course, who you're seeing right here is Kendall George, and we'll just let it loop on his 3 stolen bases from the other day. But how about this? That's just part of the equation, by the way. Adding fast players to your system, just being fast, doesn't automatically mean, I've seen a lot of fast guys that had no idea how to run the bases, or certainly even how to steal a base. So just being fast doesn't mean anything. The Dodgers have had a lot of fast players like in the last 7 or 8 years that didn't steal a lot of bases. Gavin Lux would be one of those guys. But not only are the Dodgers getting fast guys, they're also utilizing the stolen base. I think the bigger pizza boxes they have for bases have really made a difference there. So how about this? That AAA Oklahoma City and Rancho both lead their league in stolen bases. Oklahoma City, AAA Oklahoma City has 2 players in the top 10 in stolen bases. Esteury Ruiz, who is currently up with LA right now, and Justin Dean, who is a blur. Then Alex Freeland is 12th in stolen bases. Good of an athlete Alex Freeland is. James Outman is 16th. And believe it or not, Olwardo, who leads the PCL in home runs, who is the all-time home runs and RBI leader in the history of the Bricktown era. James Ward is Ryan Ward is 19th in stolen bases in the PCL. Tulsa at AA, they've been the worst base stealing team in the system. Matter of fact, they've just struggled all year in just about everything. But they have Taylor Young, who is 7th in the Texas League, and they just added Cole Myers, who I promise you, Cole Myers is one of the fastest players in the league. So he will steal some bases for them. And as for the Loons, this young man you're seeing on the screen here, Kendall George, leads the entire Midwest League in stolen bases. Josue De Paula is 10th. And then when you go down to the single A level, actually, you can add Eduardo Quintero now to High A Great Lakes. He's actually been promoted. So I did not catch that on my post here. But Jaron Elkins leads the Cal League in stolen bases. When Edgardo Quintero left, he is third. He's still listed as third in the standings as far as statistics. In the Cal League, Jose Meza, who is a good athlete, is 12th. And Elijah Hainline, who has been promoted to High A Great Lakes, is 16th. So, of the 4 affiliates, they have 3 guys, Esteiri Ruiz, Kendall George, and Jaron Elkins, who all lead their leagues in stolen bases. And 2 of the affiliates, Oklahoma City and Rancho, both lead the league in terms of overall team stolen bases. So the Dodgers, again, they have made a big emphasis on adding speed into their system. And not only are they adding speed, like to be more athletic on the field, they have put an emphasis on actually using that speed to steal more bases. So I wanted to bring that up. I thought that was a very interesting and exciting aspect to the way the Dodgers are adjusting their system as they go on. No longer the 3 true outcomes, so that's exciting. Hey, starting with AAA Oklahoma City, Blake Snell had a really good rehab outing last night. That would be Saturday night for AAA Oklahoma City. 4.2 innings, no hits, no runs, 7 strikeouts, 4 walks. Now here's the big deal. His benchmark was 75 pitches. The Dodgers wanted him to hit 75. He hit 76. The Dodgers also wanted him to go 5 innings. He went 4 2/3. So he hit his benchmarks. That is huge with the Dodgers. That's the under the hood type of stuff, like with the Blake Trinan situation. I kept telling you, just wait till you get the back-to-back. Well, when you got the back-to-back, guess what happened? Right after the back-to-back with Blake Trinan, they pulled him up. Blake Trinan's up with the team now. So under the hood, Blake Snell is reaching his benchmark. He reached his benchmark last night. Most of the time when that happens, when they set out a specific benchmark for a pitcher and the public knows it, and that pitcher hits it, and it's a good outing or even just an outing that's not disastrous, that's a pretty good sign that there's a good chance that will be their last rehab outing. So while I don't have any inside information on Blake Snell in terms of what the Dodgers are going to do and where his next start will be, I personally think, because of the the hood aspects of it, that last night, Saturday night, likely was his last rehab outing with AAA Oklahoma City. But again, don't exactly quote me on that. Again, that's just me reading into having seen how the organization does things and those types of situations. But that's just kind of where I come down on that based on my experience with the organization. So coming in last night after Blake Snell, a young man that you guys know I am super excited about, Jose Rodriguez and his elite changeup. So several reasons why I love Rodriguez and his potential. Now, the stats don't look great this year. It's been a transition, but again, even he said it's been a hard one, and he's been fast-tracked. So the 7 foot of extension, over 7 foot, you can't teach that. There's a lot of things you can teach. Extension, meaning how long does a pitcher stride out and how close are they to the home plate whenever they deliver the ball. That is one thing you can't teach. So 7 foot of extension, that's great. The fastball hit 99 the other day. That's great. But that's not the best part of Jose Rodriguez. Easily the best part of Jose Rodriguez is his elite, not good, elite changeup. All this information came from the Reno play-by-play announcer on the broadcast last night. Jose Rodriguez threw 192 changeups. Just 9 of the 192 have been put in play. And of those 9 of the 192 he's thrown, he's given up just 3 hits on his changeups all year. 70% of the swings on his changeups are swings and misses. Wow. I knew his changeup was the centerpiece, but I didn't quite know it was to that extent. So Jose Rodriguez, just another reason why I am so excited about his potential. Now, that doesn't mean that he always throws it for a strike. That doesn't mean he's perfect. And like I said the other day, that doesn't even mean I think he's ready to go up to the major leagues at this point. That just means that he has a tremendous amount of potential, front of the Rolodex type of potential. And so from that perspective, it's very exciting, and we need to keep tuning into every outing of Rodriguez because he is super, super talented. Adios, says Hunter Fiducia. Fetty went deep into the Reno night last night for his 9th home run of the season. He was 2 for 3 last night, 3 RBIs. He's hitting .287 on the season. His OPS is .859. Had a great series in Reno, that's for sure. He had hits in every single game in the Reno series. He was 9 for 16 with a home run, a triple, a double, and 2 ribeye steaks. And that's not even the greatest thing about Hunter Fiducia. You just can't say enough about how much of a professional he is. I mean, just goes to work every day, gets bypassed at every single turn, doesn't complain, just does his job, and shows up every day. So much respect, Fetty. Much respect to Hunter Fiducia. And he caught a game last night where it was disappointing because the Oklahoma City Comets, they had a no-hitter going into the 9th inning. And, I mean, they were cruising. Of course, it was combined. You had Garrett McDaniels and Blake Snell and Jose Rodriguez. And then Jack Little gave up a triple to start the 9th inning. And then to actually Albert Almora Jr., remember, he was the starting outfielder for the Cubs a couple of years ago and a very good player. Albert Almora Jr. actually hit a leadoff triple in the 9th inning to break up the no-hitter. So that was disappointing. But a good weekend for the AAA Oklahoma City Comets and a lot of exciting news and action coming out of their series. So, hey, let's move down to the AA Tulsa level now. This is the spin doctor, Antonio Knowles. You talk about a young man that's been in AA for a long time. That's him. And he has been just about as automatic as you possibly could be for AA Tulsa. Knowles, the spin doctor, picked up his 10th save of 2025. He lowered his ERA to 2.97, and he has not given up a run. Not given up a run in the entire month of July, or in 9 outings in a row. So if you go back 2 outings into June, he hasn't given up a run. He didn't give up a run in his last 2 outings in June either. So 9 outings in a row, all of his outings in July, no runs whatsoever. You talk about an old school dude in the terms that, just like Hunter Fiducia, I'm covering 2 of my favorites back to back, gets passed over at every opportunity. They send up everybody except for him, and he doesn't complain, he doesn't bitch, he doesn't moan, he doesn't do any of that. He just shows up to work every day, and he does exactly what he's asked to do, and he does it very well. So much respect to the spin doctor, Antonio Knowles, no doubt about that. And he has been just absolutely automatic. And you talk about automatic as well, a young man that just got called up to AA, and that is Carson Hobbs. Carson Hobbs turned in another scoreless multi-inning relief outing for AA Tulsa on Sunday. 2 innings, no hits, no runs, 2 strikeouts, no walks. Big-time slider, 87-89. Huge curveball. Curveball falls off the table. Fastball approaches 100 miles an hour. Serious competitive element. Former starter. I mean, they're just absolutely not anything not to like about Carson Hobbs, because he is just really good, and he's pitching well, and he's putting it together. Definitely a Rolodex dude, Carson Hobbs. Put him in your Rolodex. Put him somewhere towards the front of the Rolodex, and keep checking in, because Carson Hobbs is fantastic. So Carson Hobbs and Luke Fox both got elevated to AA the same day on Friday, and they both pitched in Friday night's game. Actually, no, Luke Fox pitched Saturday night. I got to see Carson Hobbs on Friday. And how about this wonderful AA debut for the lefty Luke Fox? Luke Fox and Wyatt Crowell both throwing well. We know that Jackson Ferris on Friday threw fantastic. So on back-to-back days, although Tulsa's not having a great year, man, they threw out some firepower on the mound. They threw out Jackson Ferris, Carson Hobbs, Jason Cabrera, Jermaine Rosario, Antonio Knowles, and Luke Fox. I mean, and Patrick Copen. So while Tulsa hasn't had a great season by any stretch, they do have a ton of firepower that you need to be following in the system on the mound. So Luke Fox, how about this? Fastball 95-96. Shorter slider was nailing the back door all day long. So he has a shorter and a bigger slider. Breaking ball had great sweeping action to hit the back foot, and that was a nice swing and miss pitch for him. That was about 82-85. So he had the ball to strike, meaning he see that one there. That ball, that pitch starts the ball, ends up as a strike. That's the ball to strike aspect of his slider that is super effective, because he can hang it way out there as a ball for a long time, which means the hitter's seeing ball, 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 and he's thinking don't swing, don't swing, don't swing. Then at the last second, that thing goes from ball to strike. See right there? And the hitter is absolutely frozen. So that ball to strike concept that Luke Fox has, Robinson Ortiz also is very good at that ball to strike aspect. It's very good for him. And as a matter of fact, speaking of Robertson Ortiz, he is I mentioned all the firepower that the Dodgers threw out there, and I did not even mention it. Shame on me, Robinson Ortiz, because this dude is absolutely pitching lights out right now for AA Tulsa, and there is no doubt about that. So let me get to his outing from Friday night. Robinson Ortiz, how about this? Very good. Had the Tulsa had a 3-0 lead. He came with a runner on and just one out. Got the next two hitters, so he came up clutch there. And the slider to the end of the inning there was just simply a wow. Can't wait to see the slider from behind home plate. There's no doubt about that, because his slider is absolutely devastating. ERA for Robinson Ortiz dropped to 1.72 since he's been promoted to AA. And he got the win to move to 3-0 in the season. And Robinson Ortiz has 50 strikeouts in 37.1 innings. So Ortiz has fought injury out throughout his entire career, Tommy John, all of it. And so this is his first full year. Took him a minute to get back in rhythm. He posted a 6.10 ERA in April as he was trying to get back in rhythm. But since April, he has posted a 1.66 ERA. So definitely put Robinson Ortiz, he was in your Rolodex like in 2021, 2022. Came out of your Rolodex probably because of injury. Throw that ball overhand, Robinson, or run it over there and toss it properly underhand. But it's time to put Robinson Ortiz back in your Rolodex. He is pitching that well, and he is that good whenever he is stacking outings like he is right now. And you talk about a young man that when he is executing is really, really, really good. We move now to the high A Great Lakes level, and that is Reynaldo Yeen. If you remember, Reynaldo Yeen hit 105 miles an hour last year. It's been a struggle for him this year. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. He has not thrown enough strikes, but he did do a good job on Sunday, and I wanted to show you his good outing because no doubt about it, with that power slider and the big arm that he has, when he throws strikes, he is a definite front of the Rolodex type of guy. But to be honest with you, you can't put him in your Rolodex right now because he just is not executing. He's not executing well to be anywhere as close to Rolodex, but that does not mean that he does not have Rolodex type potential. So stay tuned. If the light bulb ever goes off for Reynaldo Yeen, watch out because his right arm is absolutely electric. Another young man that is electric in his own right is Peyton Martin. Peyton Martin has had some ups and downs this year, but Saturday was one of those good ups for Peyton Martin, no doubt. 4.2 innings, 4 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. Martin was the piggyback to Sean-Paul Lignon, who's had just a great year. Lignon gave the Loons a 2-inning outing, gave up a couple of runs. Martin got the win to move to 4-2 on the year. So here's kind of like we talked about with Antonio Knowles, Robinson Ortiz. Martin started the season giving up. He started it slow. He gave up 7 runs in the first 2 outings in 6.1 innings. Since then, has given up just 14 runs in 51 innings. So from his 3rd outing on, Peyton Martin has a 2.47 ERA. You talk about a grinder. Martin's had several different issues to work through. He's worked through all of them. Injury, he pulled off a fingernail on his finger. He couldn't feel his finger for the longest time, and it was his right finger, of course, and he pitched through it. So he's dealt with a lot of issues. He's made it to the other side, and he definitely found the best version of himself on Sunday. And so Peyton Martin, good to see him back on top. We know he has the electric arm. He had a lot of helium just a couple of years ago in terms of prospect rankings. And, hey, with a good year, continue this good year, finish the velo strong, finish the year strong, he will shoot right back up those prospect standings. And even if he doesn't, I mean, those standings are what they are. We know all about that. I've covered that several different times. And the next guy I want to cover is the best, a guy that was, when he got promoted to High A Great Lakes, was the best player in the Cal League. Not one of, he was the best player in the Cal League. Matter of fact, he led the Cal League in home runs at 14. So he had 14 home runs that led the Cal League. He led the Cal League in slugging with a .553 slugging percentage, and he led the Cal League in OPS at .959. I told you he was the best player in the Cal League, but that's not it. He was second in the Cal League in batting average at 306. He was second in the Cal League in walks with 65, and he was third in the Cal League in stolen bases with 35. He was fourth in on-base percentage at 426. He was ninth in stolen bases with 18, and he was 11th in RBIs. So like I said, he was the best player in the Cal League. There is your proof. I'm not going to argue with anybody about it. He was that good. Eduardo Quintero might make one of your elite outfielders, him and several of the other guys, expendable because you have so many really, really good young outfielders, although you hate to give up any of them because they're all really, really, really good. You might feel like you can give up one because you have plenty of them to cover the needs that you have. So Eduardo Quintero just recently moved up from Rancho, which is where we are headed now, down to High A, Rancho Cucamonga. Get your popcorn and sit down because we have a lot of new guys that you're going to want to see and hear about on today's Down on the Farm. This is Emil Morales. We have been waiting for Emil Morales, who, by the way, had a great complex season, to surface at Rancho so we can get some video on him. Morales, super talented, big-time leadership skills, 18 years old, very good defender, smooth defender, no doubt about that. Huge potential. There is the first hit for Emil Morales in affiliated baseball. A double to right center. You got to see several different plays that he made. Very smooth-wise at shortstop. So add Emil Morales to Joendry Vargas, to Wilman Diaz, to Myro Martinez, to Elijah Hainline, to Alex Freeland, to Sean McClain, to Noah Miller, to the incredible crop of shortstops that are in this system right now. So Morales, it's exciting to see him make his debut and get called up to Rancho, and it did not take him long to make his mark. Another guy that was maybe, we talked about Eduardo Quintero being maybe the best player in the Cal League. Chase Harlan might have been the best offensive player in the complex. He had 2 hits last night. This is Chase Harlan. Remember, he was the second pick for the Dodgers in 2024, was committed to the University of Florida. He had a hit in his first game with Rancho, had 2 hits last night for the Quakes, so he has hits in both games that he's played, and he also made a nice play at third base, coming in on a ball that you're going to get to see here, right here. You're going to get to see him make a play. A nice play. Come on in that ball right there, Chase. Make a nice little throw right there. Get the out. Only 19 years old, very loud tools. He was hitting .288 at the complex, 6 home runs, 13 doubles, 38 RBIs, and that's all in just 42 games. I'm going to say that again. 6 home runs, 13 doubles, 38 RBIs in just 42 games. So a very good player, very good prospect, very exciting prospect that we're going to get to see a lot more of in terms of video because he is at Rancho and they do have video. Same with this young man, Chin Sin Ko. So excited about this young man out of Taiwan. Big old dude, 6'3", 218. Super pumped to get him on video with Rancho. He had a base hit last night for the Quakes. He has hits in both games he's played with the Rancho. I said Harlan. Actually, to be honest with you, I meant Chin Sin Ko, and I said probably the best player in the complex. Check this out for Chin Sin Ko. 368 OPS of 1026 when he got brought up to Rancho. So Chin Sin Ko, exciting to see him get hits with Rancho in back-to-back games, the 2 games that he's played with them. Just absolutely tore up the complex. A young man that is in a lot. He's a really big name in the prospect talk from the public pundits. And so definitely a Rolodex, potentially a front of the Rolodex type of prospect. So stay tuned to Chin Sin Ko because he is super, super talented. And you talk about a young man that is young, like we've been talking about all these guys, and unbelievably talented. How about Sterling Patrick? 6 innings, no hits, no runs, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. Good velo. He's going to end up being in the 95, 96 range. Great movement on that sinker/two seam. Has great tail on it. His curveball has that 12-6 Kershaw type break to it. He has a great cutter that he can steal strikes with. See that Taylor on the sinker there. He'll steal strikes with his cutter to the back door. That keeps hitters off of his fastball. And that right there, that sweeper right there, and then changeup. His sweeper is devastating, though. If we can hold on here long enough to see his sweeper, it is just a wicked pitch. So tons and tons of potential for Sterling Paddock, who is just, there's that cutter. That's not his best cutter, but that's what, see there, that one right there. Woo, look at that pitch. That curveball is just absolutely awesome. For a 20-year-old, I mean, get out of here. That's awesome. So he's showing flashes of being dominant when he's executing. In his last 2 outings, Sterling Paddock has not given up a run in 10 innings, and he has 13 strikeouts to just 2 walks. We see young guys a lot of times be explosive, but then have almost as many walks as do strikeouts. Not Paddock in his last 2 outings. Paddock has been just absolutely awesome in those last 2 outings. So I wanted to show you him. And another guy that we're going to finish today's Down the Farm with is a guy I am really big on. And again, don't necessarily look at statistics because he had a couple of early outings that did not go his way. But I promise you, this guy right here is hard to hit. Cody Morse threw 2 innings on Saturday. 1 hit, no runs, 3 strikeouts, no walks. The cutter gets in on the hands of righties. It's just a tough pitch. Look at the tail on that pitch. I mean, that ball is taking a hard left turn. So when you have a left turn like that, then you have a cutter that turns right. They start in the same spot, but the split, meaning they start in the same spot, but they end about, if you were to look at both of them, overlay them, the difference in the split would be about probably close to 2 feet. So that's a very difficult decision to make for a hitter, especially coming out of a long, tall drink of water like Cody Morse. And look at that right there, that tail. That's just ridiculous. And coming out of a 3/4 slot and a long, just kind of has a little bit of that Randy Johnson to him. So that sweeper and change, see that sweeper there? Huge pitch. So the last 2 pitches on this video, I mean, are just like, what? I mean, good Lord. That last pitch especially. Totally dirty. So, hey, thank you for tuning in to Dodgers Down the Farm. You guys know that the Dodgers Dogs community is the absolute best. Not the biggest, but the best. And so until next time, which will be Monday night when Oster Brubaker brings you a live show, thank you for tuning in. And as always, it's a great day to be a Dodger.